It's a topic I never thought we would be addressing here in northeastern Pennsylvania. The subject is human trafficking. Here to tell us that it is here and it is real right here in our area is from the state police. We have Trooper First Class David Peters, who is a public information officer with the Troop N Barracks in Hazleton. When we talked about this, I am in shock. I mean, at first we had to accept the fact that drugs was in this area for how many years now, but now we're talking about human trafficking, and you said we're one of the top states in this as well. So where does Pennsylvania rank in human trafficking?
The latest statistics that we received, and this is through our PASIX or our Fusion Center, was that Pennsylvania ranked 11th, which we were 9th at one point in time. So it is becoming a situation where I think more people are becoming aware. We're being trained and educated on it and trying to combat the issue of human trafficking and getting more victims saved from it.
Now, you told me there are two aspects. There is human trafficking, but there's also human smuggling, and they're two different things. So we're talking about two different things.
Yes, we are. Human smuggling is, in a lot of cases, voluntary and based upon transportation, bringing someone into this country. And a lot of times they pay for that service to bring them in. Where human trafficking, someone's doing that against their will. They're being coerced or exploited or forcefully forced into that line of work, whether that's through the sex trade or through what we would refer to as labor trafficking. In a lot of cases that you're seeing. So there has to be some type of exploitation, coercion, or force in regards to that. That's one of the differences.
And this is so serious. You had a recent training at Penn State Hazleton, so tell us about this.
Yeah, I mean, again, learning about the topic myself, realizing that it was something that was increasing and talking to the various agencies that were around the Luzerne County, as well as our own resources in the state police, that it was something that was happening right here. We felt it necessary to host a training for local law enforcement. It was attended by close to 100 local and state officers. They received training from our state police organized crime, as well as Luzerne County victim assistance, victim witness assistance, as well as our PASIX unit and the Luzerne County District Attorney's Office. So they kind of training them on things to look for, maybe not be so much focused on certain things, but to pick up on, look beyond that stop, whether it's a traffic stop or responding to a domestic violence situation. Pick up on there might be some precursors there that maybe we have missed, to maybe elevate their game and see if that individual that you're encountering is possibly a human trafficking victim.
When did this start, I guess, coming into our area? When did you start seeing signs of this, and how much of it are you seeing?
Well, I don't know. I would think, when you had Craigslist and you had Backpage and you had social media sites like that where people now were able to post personal ads and do things like that, I think it began to grow, and that's one avenue that people are using to promulgate what they're trying to do out there. But I think that the need lies in that there's people out there wishing to purchase such activity. So it goes in there. You're looking at society's viewing and maybe not differentiating between the fact that someone may want to be in the prostitution field, and that's a word like you don't want to use, prostitution, but there are some females that go ahead and do that. They know what they're doing it willingly for money or to feed a drug habit. But there are people that are not doing it for that. They're being forced to do it. Whether that came from a home that they're seeking that salvation from someone that love, and before they know it, they're being taken and forced to do certain things. Or in the same thing with the labor. Coming in this country looking for the American dream and being forced to work at low wages, never being able to get out from underneath the debt that they think that the person keeps telling them that they're entitled to be paid back for. So it's just a constant circle. And a lot of people are so nervous and scared, especially I think in the sex trade aspect of it, because they've been beaten, they've been assaulted. How do they seek those services? And that was one of the big proponents that we saw in the training was, how do we provide those services from law enforcement? Because maybe we're not well versed in that. And we want to be able to help that victim. We want them to know that if we got them to this point, that we want to be able to see them through and get them to the agency that can really get them away from this so they can try and get their life back together piece by piece. But there'll be people there to help them.
The people who are involved unwillingly in this, are they people from Pennsylvania? Are they people being brought in from other places? What are you seeing?
They can be. I mean, you think about our interstate system. You know, we talk about it all the time when it comes to drugs. It stays the same for this type of atmosphere. You know, quick access to the city. We talked about Pennsylvania being 11. The statistics that I received, New York is 4. I mean, that's not far from here. It's 2 hours away, hour and a half, 2 hours away, that someone could take a young lady or a young man and take them into the city for those purposes. So it's hard to say whether they're residents here or if they've come from outside. Again, the demand, I should say, I guess, is there, and that's one of the focus points that we need to get out there, and we need to educate not only law enforcement. Our plan is to do something in the spring throughout our 4 counties coverage area to educate the public, things that they can look for. I mean, they see things every day that might, and they might not want to report it. We want them to report it. You know, that might be our first and only opportunity to remove someone from a human trafficking situation.
Right now, for anybody watching, give us some quick tips. Like, what should we watch for?
Well, I mean, in giving some tips, we also don't want to give away the fact of what those individuals do that should tip us off. So I wouldn't want to go too far into it. But I mean, again, just don't always look, if you look at someone in a certain way that, I guess, I hate to use that cliche that you're looking at it as if they're a prostitute or a streetwalker. They may not just be someone out there as willingly. They might not have a choice in the matter. You know, surfing the net or on certain personal pages, you might come across someone that, you know, the picture looks way too young, you know, or there's something going on. Just trust your gut. If you think something's not right, it's usually not right, and don't be afraid to report that. And again, from the Northeast Human Trafficking Task Force, a big campaign is going to go out there, getting it to hotels and rest areas and places like that, awareness tips, places, you know, things like that that people can call in and provide information if they think someone's being trafficked.
And if someone thinks they see a problem, they should just contact their law enforcement?
Absolutely. You can always let law enforcement know. They'll come out, they'll investigate it. If it's nothing, then it's nothing. But at least someone's there to look beyond that and see if there is something much more going on.
Well, you've opened up my eyes. Let me tell you, I never thought we'd be doing this segment here at SSP TV, but there will be more coming in the future because you said you will be taking it into the public as well. So come back and tell us what is happening and let us know so we can inform our viewers.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Trooper First Class David Peters from the Pennsylvania State Police.